Software update coming for iPhone 12s over radiation concerns. Google offers 10 years Chromebook updates, and more on today's tech news. For a while now, Samsung has been rumoured to be working on a smart ring. So if you think of the Oura Ring, it's basically Samsung's version of this. And now a new teardown of an APK shows that there is actually a name on there called the Galaxy Ring, and that it is scheduled to be released at some point in 2024. Now, it is interesting to see the Samsung going down this route. Currently, there isn't much in the marketplace on there, so a little bit of a disruptor and something coming from Samsung should actually help push this market forward. It is certainly an interesting market. One thing would be interesting is to see if this could actually read through tattoos. So currently, if you have a tattoo, a lot of sensors don't actually work over that area. With the Oura Ring, it works better on, I believe, your ring finger, just because of the vessels and things like that going through there. But it'll be interesting to see what Samsung can actually offer in this space. There are some rumours that Xiaomi is actually working on a new watch called the Xiaomi Watch 2 Pro that will actually use Wear OS. Now, previously, they've used cheaper versions of Android on the operating system, but it looks like they're actually going to start with Wear OS 3. Now, like I say, this comes from a leak account, so the details may be inaccurate at the moment, but currently it does say that it is expected to release alongside the Xiaomi 13T, and it'll be about €349 in Europe, and currently a US release is not expected. Now, looking at the leaked designs via Twitter or X, whichever you'd like to call it, it is an interesting take. It does look an awful lot like the Samsung Galaxy Watch. However, there are some differences on there, and if these are accurate, then it is a pretty good looking watch, so it'll be interesting to see if anything actually comes from this. We will put a link in the description so you guys can have a look at the renders yourself. Google has announced that they are going to be extending Chromebook's automatic update support from 8 years to 10 years, and this will be coming from devices released from 2019 and later. Now, this is an interesting move, and it follows increasing criticism from consumers, schools, and advocacy groups of the fact that many Chromebooks that are in use and currently on sale actually have some looming death dates. So it is interesting to see that Google is actually responding in a positive way to this. Now, personally, I haven't really used a Chromebook, but from the people that actually do use it and the schools that use it, I know it is quite an invaluable source. If you're doing most things online and you're looking for a cheap option, I can see why people use this. So the fact that they're now offering 10 years of support is actually really good, and it'll be interesting to see if they extend that any further. Yesterday was iPhone 15 pre-order day, and looking online, there looked like quite a few hiccups with the store actually not opening on time. Now, even though we weren't actually ordering something ourselves, we'd like to keep an eye on the situation, and by about 1:15 in the afternoon UK time, the store opened at 1 p.m. It was still actually down for me. Some users were in, some were actually still down, and by the time they get on there, obviously orders are backdated on there, so it's left a little bit of a bitter taste in the mouth. Now, there usually is a few people out there tweeting that they can't get in, but this seems to be a bit more widespread than normal. Now, it'll be interesting to see if those backdated orders actually comes in an estimate and actually get shipped earlier, which would be an impressive itself. Now, one of the things we actually tweeted out yesterday was, even though Apple actually touted one of the main features with the iPhone 15 Pro is you can take a camera out and just shoot in the normal camera option, and then it would pick up that you're trying to get a subject, and it would then use the portrait mode automatically on there, and then you've got the tap to change that portrait mode if you've got more than one person in the shot. Now, that is an interesting feature. However, it also turns out that that's also come into the Pro models for the iPhone 13 and 14 in a software mode. Now, you're not going to be able to shoot from the normal camera and then it automatically go into portrait, but it will work for any shots taken on the portrait mode, and also it will also work if they have already been taken in the portrait mode and you've got them in your gallery on those devices. You'll be able to change the focal subject on there with the iOS 17 update. Apple also touted the new double tap for the Apple Watch Series 9, and instantly a lot of people, including myself, said this has already been available on some older watches using the accessibilities. Now, I've never actually used it, but I remember seeing the video. You've got a few different options, clenching your fist, double tapping and things like that. So yesterday I had a look, I turned on those settings, and it does work on the second generation Apple Watch SE, and it's not completely accurate. I didn't really play with it too much. I just wanted to have a look, and if what Apple is saying that because of the new chip in the Apple Watch Series 9, then it's more reliable, then that will be good, because it's currently, like I said, when I tried it, it wasn't that reliable, so it'll be interesting to see that. Now, according to sources, Apple isn't going to be bringing this to other watches apart from the Series 9, so they're not going to be backdating this, but if you want to test it out, then just turn that on. Now, the reason they say is because of the chip, of the processor is a lot faster. Now, if it means with regards to accuracy, then yes, I can see that. But at the moment, I can't see any other reason why they can't bring it to the older devices, apart from trying to push sales for the Apple Watch Series 9. Apple has promised that it's going to issue a software update for iPhones 12 in France to address concerns over radiation limits. Apple says that multiple research and organizations test the radiation levels and have all come back conclusive that they are safe to use. However, according to tests carried out by France that differ from other countries, they've prompted concerns and threats to stop all sales of the iPhone 12 in the country. Apple has actually stopped selling the iPhone 12 with the release of the iPhone 15. However, there are still going to be third-party stores and places in France that still sell these iPhone 12s for some time. And so Apple has said that it will issue the software update to coincide and hopefully appease the French authorities. It'll be interesting to see if other countries follow suit and demand changes and software updates in those countries as well. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for listening, and I will catch you on the next episode.